Hello, my name is Jim Stallings. I'm the director of the chess program here at UTD. Probably most of you know me since you probably wrote the invitation to come here. We're very pleased to have our speaker here tonight. But before we get started, we're in the McDermott Library. I'd like for you to know a little bit more about the library and how we work with them. And so I'd like to introduce the Dean of the Library, Ellen Shafley.
It's nice to see all of you tonight. I'd like to welcome you to the library. I don't know if you want me to give you any data, but we've been working with the chess program for 12 years, and we're really happy about that relationship. In the beginning, it was our idea that the chess team would play chess in the lobby of the library. And they would take on all comers, so people would walk in and realize that they had met their match. Since then, the event, or this week, has evolved quite a bit. They used to play one player at a time, but sometimes they played, the team would walk down a table and play each other, in little chess clocks would go on and off. It was kind of cool. And then they started playing them blindfolded out on the promenade out here. It's pretty incredible to watch that. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but I think they did it yesterday. It's especially fun when they do it on a big board. So we've always been really responsive to the chess team because we don't have a football team. So yay to the chess team. I mean, it's really nice because, you don't worry about them getting in trouble like a football team might. The other thing the library does for the chess program is buy a lot of books and materials for them. So the library has that material available. And at this point, we're digitizing their archives. So we've gone full circle with that. And I'd like to, in closing, I'd just like to thank Katie for coming, and congratulations. So, but she has a couple of reasons to be happy tonight. So we're happy to have you.
All right, thank you very much, Ellen. And now to introduce our presenter tonight will be the Dean of Interdisciplinary Studies, Dr. George Fair.
Well, I would just like to say welcome again to UT Dallas, and I work for the provost and the president of the university, and I'm sure they would extend their regards to being here and tell you how important the chess program is to us at UT Dallas. I'm the dean of the School of Interdisciplinary Studies, which is one of the 7 academic units at the university. And we have been the unit that has, to some extent, had a hand in the chess program ever since it began. We started and have offered 4 courses each semester for the most part as a part of our program where students can take courses in chess, and we're just very happy to be a part of the chess program. So you'll hear a little bit more about that, and you'll see a little bit more about what we do. Dr. Alexi Root, who is in our audience here, is our instructor for those classes, and so I just want to say thank you all for coming out. It is indeed a pleasure to have an opportunity to introduce our speaker tonight, and her name is Katie Dellamaggiore. She's the producer and director of the film Brooklyn Castle. I saw the film several months ago now, or maybe, and it's an interesting film, and she's going to bring some remarks about that, and she's the person that has the details. She's the person that produced and directed the film. Katie, please come forward.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, George and James, for having me. This is really quite an honor to be the Chess Educator of the Year. It's not something I ever really imagined that I would receive. So thank you very, very much. So making this film has been a journey for me. It's been about 4 or 5 years in the making since we first started making this film. And I have to say that it's exceeded my wildest expectations, kind of what the film became and the impact that it's had on the chess community, on the education community, on the film community. So I know some of you guys have seen it, some of you haven't. So I'm just going to take you through some of the journey of making this film. James would like me to reveal some of our secrets of how we made the film, so I'll try to do that as well for you budding filmmakers out there. But yeah, thank you for having me. And here we go. This is the journey of Brooklyn Castle. So for those of you who haven't seen the film yet, just a quick little description of what it's about. So basically, I spent 1 year following the nation's best junior high chess team at IS 318, which is a public school in Brooklyn. They're a Title I school, so about 65% of the kids at the school are from homes below the poverty level. The chess team at 318 are the heroes of the school. They are the football team of 318. And chess has really just done incredible things for the school. And so we decided we wanted to see what it was about the chess program that was so special, so we decided to spend 1 year with them. And so I'm going to play the trailer for you so you can get a little bit of a taste about what the film is about. Back up. My first time using this program, so there we go. And we don't have...
In some schools, if you're in the chess team, you're this...
Sorry, we'll start that again.
From Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, Williamsburg. We crush our opponents in chess, take all the trophies home.
It started with this little group of kids. We got a couple of boards, and they came in and started playing, and we decided that we would take a try going to the Nationals because it would be a great experience for the children from 318 to travel to another state to enter in a chess competition. And we won. Then you win again. This goes on for 10 years. We're still winning.
My mom and dad came to the U.S. because they want to have a better life for me. Most of my family are like housemaids, gardeners, painters.
I'm playing in Girls Nationals because I want to win the scholarship. It's going to help my mom a lot because she can't afford to pay for college.
They came to the United States because of the American dream. Look at all these medals.
I'm very proud of you.
Some people compare us to the Yankees of chess because we've won so much, so it makes the disappointments harsher. How'd you do, Rochelle?
The smallest hint of failure, you don't want to have to face that.
We just got caught $250,000. It would be a shame if, because of some corrupt bankers ruining the economy, that our kids couldn't go on the trips.
As your school president, my primary goal is to restore money that was lost in the budget cuts.
In the chess room, I'm probably almost to last place. Hey, at least I'm not last.
More big games tomorrow. It's all on you.
Yeah, that really helps a lot.
I'm not here to get second. I don't know about you, I'm not here to get no second. Howdy, buddy.
Let's ride.
One.
You could easily become the first African-American female to become a master.
I can really do this. I believe in my dream.
In some schools, if you're in the chess team, you're this pariah which no one wants anything to do with you. In 318, the geeks, they are the athletes.
I'm gonna start off as a lawyer, then to district attorney, then to attorney general, and then to governor. From governor to senator, from senator to president.
So I don't know if you guys noticed, but we got a nice shout out from the Dallas Observer, which we put in our trailer. Dallas really likes this movie, which we appreciate. So the first question everyone always asks me is, do you play chess? And why did you decide to make this film? So the answer to the first question is no. I do not play chess, although now I do know how to move the pieces. That's about it. And I did get to play Pobo, one of the stars in the film, once, and he told me I didn't do that bad. So I don't play chess, and so I didn't make this film because I wanted to make a film about chess. But in 2007, I discovered this article in the New York Times about a really talented young chess player named Sean Martinez, who was attending Murrow High School in Brooklyn. And the article was about him and some struggles he was having in school. And Murrow at the time had the best high school chess team in the nation. I didn't know that. I grew up in Brooklyn. And I actually grew up not far from where this school is located, and I had no idea that Brooklyn was home to some of the best scholastic chess players at public schools, nonetheless. So that caught my attention, and I thought that might be a nice idea for a documentary. That was the spark. That article led me to this book that some of you guys might be familiar with, The Kings of New York by Michael Weinreb. If you haven't read it, you should. And he spent a year with Murrow, and so he chronicled the Murrow chess team for 1 year, and really brought like just a unique perspective to the idea of telling the story of a chess team, because he kind of treated them like a sports program. He embedded himself with the team, went to all the tournaments, and kind of just really told the story of chess in a very kind of new and in a unique way. And so I read the book, and I really enjoyed the book. And so I called Michael on a whim and said, hey, I'm this filmmaker. I think this is a great story. I'd love to maybe make a film about Murrow. And he agreed to meet me for coffee. And during that meeting, Michael told me something that I am forever grateful for. He said, Murrow is a great story. I wrote a book about them. But there's this other chess team in Brooklyn that you might not have heard of. They're called IS-318, and they're the feeder school to Murrow. And he said, Elizabeth Vickery, the chess teacher and coach, and John Galvin, the assistant principal, he said they made such an impression on me, I wish I had spent more time there. And he had only dedicated 1 chapter in their book to them, but he wished he'd spent more time there. So he gave me this really great tip. I really owe him a lot for that. And he said, you should go check out IS-318. And that's exactly what I did. IS-318 was located just 5 minutes from where I live now. So I went there one day before work. Again, called. This film has good karma. I didn't realize that you can just call people and ask them to make a film about them, and they might say yes. But I think when you're really proud of what you do, you welcome people in, and that's what happened. I called the school. I called John Galvin, the assistant principal. I told him I was interested in coming by and observing his chess team. And he said, sure, come on over. I said, really? And just like that. And I went there, and I sat in on one of the chess classes that Elizabeth was teaching, and I was floored. I had no idea what she was talking about. I mean, she had all of her boards out and all of her pieces, and all along the walls are all these quotes and all these strategies and tactics. And I had really no idea what she was talking about, but for some reason she was teaching with such enthusiasm and such passion that it almost didn't matter. I mean, it was almost like listening to someone speak like a really beautiful foreign language, and you don't really know what they're saying, but you know that it's something important. And so, I mean, right then and there, I knew that if I could appreciate this foreign language, that perhaps we can find a way to tell a story about it that other people could appreciate even if they didn't know chess. And that's what we did. And these people were obviously very important people to the film right from the beginning. Elizabeth Vickery, the chess teacher and coach, who many of you may be familiar with, she's just an extremely talented chess player in her own right. An amazing educator, and just a force. She's just a brilliant, brilliant woman, and teaches chess in a way that I didn't think was possible. And so I'm going to show you a clip of her teaching chess in the classroom, which is kind of what I experienced when I first met her, kind of what hooked me in.
Like the kids.
Given that I can't see forever all the possible continuations or all the way down into the sort of infinitely expanding realms of future continuations in chess, it's very hard to know what that best move is. Yes, and I think that this is a good thing for kids to be exposed to, the idea that truth isn't quite so simple as right and wrong, and that they're studying at a level where the answers really aren't clear to anybody. Or unclear to me, and I'm very good at it,
And this leg goes, that's good. So you got the whole rank covered, right? You just don't have D2.
Ms. Vickery is the best. She really is the total brains of the operation.
Rook G6. What's White gonna do?
People often ask, why is the team so successful? How can we replicate what you do? And it's not easy. A lot of the idea about the Dutch is going to be over the E4 square. We work every day after school. We take the kids to tournaments every Saturday.
And for you, like, manage for a strong pretty week.
So we're working 6 days a week. Elizabeth works even harder than that. She's up late at night making worksheets and worrying about the kids.
Okay, any questions about that one?
We offer great rewards for the kids that give us a commitment. They get to travel around the country. I never went on an overnight trip for 5 days in my school where the school paid for the food by plane. And those are experiences that a lot of our kids in our school don't really have. And so in order to get these sort of rewards, we expect the kids to put in 100%.
So that's John Galvin. He's the assistant principal at IS 318. And if Elizabeth is the brains behind the operation, John Galvin's like the general manager, front office guy running the show, making sure that she has the budget to keep her program going. It's a tough job that he has. And the other very important person in making this film was Fred Rubino. He was the principal of the film while we were shooting. Sadly, Fred Rubino passed away 1 year ago around this time. I owe much of this film to him. It's a film that we hope will live on in his honor. Without him, we wouldn't have been able to make this film. He welcomed us into his school with open arms, which again, I thought would be impossible to shoot in a public school in New York, kind of have carte blanche to roam the hallways with a camera. I didn't think that was possible. And so, Mr. Rubino was so proud of his school and his program, he let us do that. And so this film is really a tribute to him. Everyone always asks also, how did you pick the kids in the film? Because there are 5 extraordinary kids who really are the heart of this movie. And I would just say that the way that we chose them was we spent a lot of time with the team. And if you spend enough time with your potential characters, their personalities just start to reveal themselves. And you start to see which kids have journeys that they're going on. And ultimately, those were the kids that we chose to include in the film. Kids that had a goal or a challenge or something that was happening in their personal life where we can kind of see how chess and life were intersecting each other. That was what I wanted to find, like how were they intersecting each other in interesting ways. And all 5 of these kids had something like that in their own lives. Rochelle Ballantyne, who I'm going to play this clip of, she was a young woman who in 8th grade was the best player on the team, kicked all the boys' butts, which she was really proud of, and was aiming to become the first female African-American master, which she hasn't achieved yet, but she's still working on. And this clip just gives you a little bit of insight into the challenge she was facing in the film with how to continue pursuing chess and also keep up with her academics and her social life and her family life, which can be a challenge.
I've had the goal of becoming a master, the first African-American female master since I was in 8th grade, when I realized that when I was so close to 2000, I was like, I could really do this. It's realistic, like I know I could do it, but it's harder now. I believe in my dream less now.
I've been meaning to ask you, how is life after 318 as far as chess?
Well, I have CIS now, and they give me Shapunsky. He gives me homework every single day, and I'm expected to do that come Friday. Last Friday I didn't have to do it, so I was just like, I'm not, I have too much homework, I just don't want to do it. Now I have to do double the homework for next Friday, for this Friday.
The least you could do is do his work. And you better do his work, because then he's going to know if you're not doing his work, and then he's going to think you're wasting his time, and then it's offensive. So you have to do his work, because you have to look at it in those terms.
Yeah, I'm doing it, but with my mom, it's school comes first, so I can't.
School comes first, but is becoming, the first African-American female master really that important to me? Because if it's not, then that's a different thing. If you don't really want that goal, that's fine, then say that. And then that way, no one's going to really expect anything really too much great. But if you are saying that you really want it, and if you really do want it, then you have to do that work. At least show that passion. Show the same passion you had when you were rated 1600. Like you have passion then, because you wanted to really go up.
And so when Rochelle graduated from 318, Justice Williams replaced her as the #1 player on the team. And I knew that he would be an interesting character to follow because when Justice entered 318, he had a tremendous amount of internal pressure he was putting on himself to perform because a lot of people were kind of looking to him as this young, bright talent in the chess world. And so we decided we would follow him to see how he dealt with that pressure. Patrick, on the other end of the spectrum, was a young student who was struggling with ADHD. And so we really wanted to make a film that wasn't only highlighting, the best and brightest kids on the chess team, because for the kids at 318, it wasn't just about chess, it was about being part of this after-school program that was providing a lot more than just learning how to play chess. And for someone like Patrick, he was never going to become a master. I mean, his rating never even went past 700, but he was using chess as a way to improve his concentration and his attention, and that meant a lot. And I thought that would be a story that people could really appreciate. Alexis was a young gentleman who I met who told me that he was trying to get into a specialized high school in New York City, which means that's one of the best high schools in New York, one of the best public high schools in New York. And at a young age, he was already really aware of this personal responsibility he felt to help his parents. His parents were from Paraguay. His mom is a housekeeper. His dad's a gardener. And at 12 years old, he looked me straight in the face and told me that, he wanted to go to a good high school so he could support his parents when he got older. And I was like, wow, how many 12-year-olds are thinking about that? And so this is a clip of Alexis. If I started in the right spot.
My mom and dad are from South America, but I was born in the U.S. So when they came here, they tried to fit like regular people, learning English.
My big son, when I was in the first grade, he's in Iraq. And he very, very close. We're very close family.
The reason for moving to the U.S. because they want to have a better life for me, and they wanted me to be as successful as I could be.
We don't want to push him, but he want to do it. He never want to do anything wrong. Like, I don't know how to explain that. He want to always
do well, like number one.
Do well, number one.
Most of my family are like housemaids, gardeners, painters. I want like a job more succeeding, like being criminal investigator, or a lawyer, or doctors. One of those jobs are like could get me more in my life.
And then the last but not least, Pobo was our other main character in the film, and he is a budding politician who told me when I met him that he wanted to run for school president and that he was going by the name Pobama because this was around the time that the election was happening. And so I didn't have to ask any more questions after that. I just knew he would be an interesting character no matter what. Of course, all of you here today, or many of you already understand the benefits of chess. That was something we really wanted to include in the film, and in a way that people could understand, non-chess players could understand. And when people ask me, what do I think the benefits of chess are, I just tell them what I saw happen at 318. And I saw kids who were excelling, who were becoming more confident, who were excited to be at school, who wanted to stay at school, not only before school, but after school to play chess. They were becoming better thinkers, more self-reflective, which is not really a quality you always see in junior high school kids. And so that was what I wanted to come across in the film. And this is just a clip that shows the benefits, or some of the benefits of chess.
Hi, Jim.
Hi.
This is Alexis.
Nice to meet you.
To play 97 and sacrifice 25 to get classified for your business.
We put pressure on the kids to do well because we think that's what's going to pay dividends in their life further on.
Sure.
Learning chess and becoming good at chess and having to solve your own problems of how you teach yourself things is fantastic for kids. maybe in this world in which more and more kids can only concentrate for 10 minutes, that in fact it's exactly what we need. The fact that it's not the direction the society is going maybe makes it more valuable as an educational tool.
So, I want to cheer to block the queen from over there.
Wow! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers. Fantastic.
The other big important part of this film, which we didn't expect, were the budget cuts that got hit, that 318 got hit with. You know, when you make a documentary film, you can put the pieces in place in some way of what you plan to follow or how you intend to tell a story, and then things happen, life happens, which is ultimately what makes a documentary the most interesting, are the unexpected twists and turns. And this one was not one that we were expecting. I got a call from John Galvin right before we started shooting to tell me that the school got hit with really bad budget cuts, and perhaps I would want to reconsider making the movie, because he didn't know if they'd be able to go to all of their tournaments. And at first I paused and thought about it, and I was like, well, that's interesting. I'm making a film about a competitive chess team that might not go to any of their competitions. That might be a little weird. But then I thought, well, no, this is the story. You know, this is what's happening. It's timely. And if you guys don't go to your tournaments, then that's the story that we're going to tell. And then that's what we did. You know, it was hard for me to see the kids have to be told, you know, you guys have worked hard all year, but unfortunately there might not be enough money. But I thought, well, at least this film will tell their story and hopefully have a positive impact so that other people can see the benefits of an after-school program like chess. That's John and Elizabeth during one of their many meetings in his office, just figuring out how they were going to find the money to compete. And then this is a clip of the late Fred Rubino, the principal, in one of his finest moments when he gathered all the kids together for an assembly so that way they could write letters to their local lawmakers to let them know that these programs mattered to them. Which worked. They did get some of their money back. But I won't give that all away until you see the film.
Dear Governor David Patterson, my name is Organa Powell. I'm an 8th grader who lives in Bedford-Stuyvesant, a neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York.
This group, you're going to do sending to the land. It's a whole new letter. It's a much shorter letter.
In some of your visits to New York, you must have heard of the school IS-318.
But we need to do something with raising money. We talked about a walkathon.
Yeah.
Now that's something we're going to do.
Well, I'm the school president of IS-318. As you know, the state has been hit hard by the budget cuts. And people down here in Brooklyn have disagreed with the budget cuts that has affected the New York City school system.
You guys are going to write to Lenthal. You guys are going to write to Lopez. This is your opportunity to have your voice heard.
Next year, I will not be attending IS-318, but it is a moral obligation as a student to fight for education for the student next to me. If you make a budget cut, education should be the last system affected. In fact, it should not be affected at all. Education is irreplaceable. You can't ignore the problem. These are kids of the future.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
For doing that, standing up to get help for your school.
So it's been a wild year. Actually, I actually just had a child 5 weeks ago. So not only did we make a movie, but we made a baby. And so, yeah, it's been a pretty incredible year. And actually, this time last year, the film launched in Texas. Texas has been very good to us. We launched at the South by Southwest Film Festival in Austin last March, just this week, actually. And we won the Audience Award there, which was pretty incredible. We had no idea that was going to happen. And while we were at the festival, we knew that when we launched this film, we really wanted to have an impact. And in order to do that, we would have to figure out ways to, whenever we arrived in a city to screen the film, we would, call on community members who played chess, call on after-school advocates, and kind of bring them together around the film to create an event, to create a community event, so that way we can spark discussion and hopefully, make a difference somehow, more than just screening a movie. And so that's what we did in Texas last year. This is a nice little piece that a local station did around an event that we held after our premiere.
One South by premiere had all the right moves. Brooklyn Castle is a documentary about a school in Brooklyn where many of the kids live below the poverty line, but they still managed to be the top chess school in the country. One of the stars of the documentary was on hand showing off some of his best moves. He played 12 games at once to show what he's learned. In the documentary, the kids from IS 318 play some local kids from a Round Rock middle school, so it's only fitting that the film make its world premiere here.
Yeah, Canyon Vista apparently is like their friendly rival. Most of the tournaments that we went to, you know, it's usually IS 318 is the favorite, but if they're not, it's Canyon Vista.
Brooklyn Castle follows what happens to the chess program and the kids when the recession forces cuts to after-school programs. If you'd like to see it for yourself, you have 3 more chances this week. It's screening 3 more times on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as part of South by Southwest.
So successful. How can we?
We went on to screen at 25 more film festivals after that, and won a couple of awards, some that we're really proud of. Best New Director at the Brooklyn Film Festival, which was pretty amazing. And we were nominated for an NAACP Image Award for Best Documentary, and the kids got to walk the red carpet a couple weeks ago. Press. So, you know, part of bringing chess to the masses has been this amazing amount of press that the film has gotten, more than I could have ever imagined. We were featured in Sports Illustrated, Teen Vogue, Oprah Magazine, Time for Kids, Essence Magazine, The Today Show, The Daily Show, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, NPR, Steve Harvey Show, Jeff Probst. I mean, the list, it was 2 months of nonstop press. And I think that was part of why this film has such good karma. I mean, the fact that people were responding to it and wanting to kind of continue to tell this story is what has kept the momentum going. Here I have a clip from the Today Show, but actually what I'm going to show you is a clip from the Daily Show, which I wasn't able to load into this presentation, but I think you guys might enjoy it. Pobo and I were on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, but I like to think that I was on the Daily Show with Pobo because he was actually the star of that. So this is just a little clip from the Daily Show. And they give really nice gift bags at the Daily Show. Pobo got an iPod.
Yeah, make your move. Now, so let me ask you this, though. So you go there and you're doing that. You're the president of the class.
Yes, sir.
You refer to yourself as Pobama. His name is Pobo. He calls himself Pobama. So you find yourself, just after taking office, in a huge fiscal disaster.
Oh.
Yes.
In many ways, if I may say, bequeathed to you by your predecessor. Who was Bush president at 318 or no? He wasn't.
The year before, he was.
That's what I'm saying. So when you're doing this, do you suddenly have to switch focus in your film?
Yeah, we didn't expect it at all, but
Right.
we just rolled with it because obviously now it was like this big thing that was happening, and it was happening at schools everywhere. And you know, whether they went to the tournaments or not anymore wasn't as quite as important as just figuring out why the team was good and what it was doing for the kids, and it was doing a lot for them. So it was really upsetting to like find out that they might not be able to go to all their tournaments.
What's so fascinating is how much, you know, the educational system, you know, we talk so much about, well, now it's no child left behind and we teach to the test. Now, as a student, there's a program in this school that is clearly lighting up these children's hearts and minds and bringing out the absolute best in them. And the first thing we do in that situation is say, well, that's the thing that has to go. You're cutting the vital appendage, not the things, and spending all that money for tests. How did that feel?
So I knew Jon Stewart would get it, and he did. He really did get why this program mattered and how upsetting it was that it could be cut. Sorry, I lost my. There we go. So that was a pretty
Release today. It already won the Audience Award at South by Southwest.
You guys can go watch the Today Show clip on your own online. We'll skip ahead. So the film came out in theaters. We opened in 50 markets, I think. 50 markets around the country. We got amazing reviews, which for me as a director was one of the best parts, I think. You know, reading the reviews come in and have them realized that people got it and they kind of saw our vision for the film, and that they were enjoying it. Roger Ebert said, "I love this film." I think my husband almost dropped dead when he read that because that's like one of his idols. You know, New York Times, irresistible, can't miss film, enlightening, inspiring. All of these reviews were coming in, and actually Manola Dargis, who's one of the main reviewers from the New York Times, something she said in her review here really struck with me. She said, "Brooklyn Castle is partly about the why and how these children became conquerors, but its reach is higher because it looks at pedagogy, politics, and their intersection. Bluntly put, to watch a child worry that his school's marching band and chess program will be cut is to witness the further collapse of a dream far bigger than he is, that of a quality public education as a democratic ideal." And I was like, wow, she just hit it on the head. So that was a nice one. And that just brings me kind of to the last piece of this, which is, you know, what we want the film to do out in the world. You know, the reviews are great, the press is great, but ultimately we were really affected by these people that we met in this program that we witnessed. And so we really want the film to be out there and to be doing good. And so while we were on our film festival tour, we launched an outreach and audience engagement campaign, which, as I mentioned, brought together after-school people, chess people, parents, educators, to kind of discuss this idea of what chess could do and what the potential for chess, you know, what potential chess had for young people's lives. And so we put together this video that I'm going to show you of all the people some of the people, not all of them, but some of the people we met along the way while we were touring the film across the country. The idea for the film came from an article that I read in the New York Times about a really talented chess player who had gone to 318. And so I did a little digging, and I found out that 318 was actually home to the best junior high chess team in the nation. And so one day before work, I just went over there thinking this might be an interesting story to pursue. And I met the coaches, John Galvin and Elizabeth Vickery, and as soon as I met them, I knew that there was something really special happening at the school. As soon as you walk in, you see hundreds of banners and trophies covering the walls, and like the chess geeks or the athletes at the school. And I thought, well, that's an interesting little twist on it.
This is Chess in the Square, which is the post-premiere event for Brooklyn Castle. It's just a way for us to demonstrate the power of chess and to also get out the message that we have about the importance of after school and take the good feelings that people have after watching the movie and kind of put them into motion here at this post-premiere event.
Just came for the world premiere, fantastic movie. I'm from Austin, Texas. I coach chess clubs. You know, the movie made me cry, particularly when that kid got his first win. That moment was so powerful for me.
Before we made this film, I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about after-school programs. You know, I hadn't thought about them since I was in grade school. And I think most adults, like myself, recall the programs that meant a lot to them when they were kids. But as we get older, we maybe don't realize the impact of what happens when those programs go away. And I thought that this film could be a really incredible opportunity to put a face to some of those programs, to actually show people what kind of effect an after-school program like chess could have.
This afternoon and every afternoon this week, 8.4 million children are going to be in after-school programs. These programs are a lifeline for working families that keep our kids safe until their parents are home. But that's not all they do. During that window, after-school programs make the remarkable happen. They inspire our kids to learn.
As the executive director of the U.S. Chess Federation, tell us what role you think chess really plays as an after-school program, the value it provides.
First off, you see it being placed in schools mandated by governments all around the world.
And the reason is there's been a lot of research that shows the improved math skills, also correlation to improved reading skills. I just see it every day changing kids' lives. It places adults with kids. It sends this incredible message to those children that you are worth my time. What a powerful message.
We're really lucky to have a really great local partner here. His name is Mike Jolson. He's with a program called Progress with Chess. And Progress with Chess is a Cleveland-based organization that sets up chess in schools, kind of like how you saw the program at 318.
Brooklyn Castle deals with a lot of the issues that we're dealing with in our Cleveland school programs, trying to create high-quality chess programs in schools on limited budgets, and the struggle to achieve great things in a rough economy. I'm thinking, that I want 20 copies right off the bat. I want to give them to every potential funder and current funder and say, hey, check out this movie. This is an example of the potential that we think we can reach. Can you help us get there?
And I just saw Brooklyn Castle, and I think the movie was absolutely amazing. It was really inspiring.
I really enjoyed the movie. It inspired me to really want to do whatever it takes to, make my own school chess club even better, because this is my senior year.
We are here watching this excellent film, Brooklyn Castle, and I brought some of my students here to participate in the activities.
What I like about chess is that you think before you move, and it helps you in life.
Chess is a thinking game, so you need to, so if you got to know how to make the right decisions, like thinking of what clothes you want to wear today. If I was speaking to a girl, I'm not trying to stereotype this.
What happened with Brooklyn Castle and IS 318 will be an excellent example for some of these smaller schools that don't necessarily have funding to be able to, build similar programs.
And as we're trying to rebuild an economy in this country and create strong cities and strong communities, it's really important that we start thinking about, in a serious way, our responsibility to kids from the moment they get up in the morning to the time they go to bed at night. And after school is a place that does that. I'm here fighting for funding.
It's hard to put into words what the program, the school in general, but the program in particular has done for not only the kids, but for our community as a whole, because it shows that hard work and discipline and teamwork and compassion and all those good things can take you to levels that are so high.
After-school programs are absolutely necessary for the complete education of our kids. And it also helps the parents as well, by the way. Everybody wins, and we need the continued funding. I urge you, please, raise your collective voices.
These students are our future, the next generation, the next congressman, congresswoman, the next bankers on Wall Street, the next scientists, and the next engineers that bring ideas and innovation to the table. If we allow these programs to slip under the water, then that will be damaging the future of this country. Therefore, I urge Congress and other elected officials across our country to take action, continue funding for these vital programs, and reinstate other lost programs so that students may benefit and enjoy the success that I enjoyed and still do. Let's let our students gain the knowledge and the key skills needed to go out and put great innovations and ideas to work, and most importantly, let them enjoy themselves and have fun. Thank you very much.
So yeah, Pobo is a pretty incredible kid. Yeah, so lastly, I just wanted to say, people always ask what we want people to take away from this film. And I think for me, I want people to be inspired. And so for kids who see the film, I want them to keep playing chess or to try chess, or if there's some other activity that they're inspired by, to keep at it and to kind of see these kids as role models that they can achieve great things. For parents who see the film, I want them to realize that they have a voice and they should get involved and they should attend their PTA meetings. And they should, speak out. If there's something at their kid's school that they think their child deserves and they're not getting, they should definitely let those folks who make the decisions know. I would like for the film to reach some higher levels, to eventually get to the governor of New York, other governors of other states, mayors, President Obama, so hopefully people who decide budgets will stop slashing after-school programs and, realize that programs like chess can be just as beneficial as reading and math and science and the core curriculum. When James told me that he wanted to honor me as the Chess Educator of the Year, I said, wow, I've never considered myself an educator. But the more I thought about it, I guess I realized that as a filmmaker, part of why I love doing what I do or what I got to do in making this film is that, you kind of get to enter a world that you don't know anything about. And as a filmmaker, you get to learn, and you get to learn all these new things, and then you get to share it with people. And so that's, I guess, in a way, I am an educator, because I took what I learned about chess and the stories I learned from these kids and got to share that with a lot of people. And so I'm really honored to have been able to do that. And then the other question that people always ask me is, where are the kids now? They're all doing great. One in particular, Pobo, just to bring things full circle. Today, I found out via Facebook, because that's how we all communicate with the kids these days, that he was going to City Hall in New York City to testify at a hearing to protest the budget cuts that are continuing to happen at New York City. So Pobo, 1 year later, is still fighting the good fight, was at City Hall today, telling his story. And so I know he'll continue doing that. And that makes me really happy, that the kids will continue to be out there and tell their stories with the world. So thank you, everyone, for coming to listen, and thank you very much.
We have time now for questions, so feel free to raise your hand, ask a few questions.
Are you in contact with any superintendents and school districts about implementing chess programs in the schools a lot more?
Well, my partner, executive producer of the film, and marketing director of USCF, Robert McClellan, is in the audience. He's doing a lot of that work. He's been in touch with the superintendents in Chicago and some other cities. So yeah, we're working on that, right? If anyone has any connections or ideas to other superintendents, perhaps in the Dallas area or other areas of Texas, let us know.
I was just wondering, these kids like to teach just a little club at elementary school level. Where did these kids come from? What elementary schools were they all coming from? That elementary schools that taught chess too.
Most of them did get instruction in elementary school. A lot of them were part of a program called Chess in the Schools in New York City. I think all of them, mostly all of them did get instruction in elementary school. So some were further along than others. Someone like Justice came into the school rated, already over 2,000. But, a lot of the kids entered school, what does Elizabeth say? Some kids don't know how to move the pieces at all when they get there, and she likes to say that it's her goal to get them from 0 to 1,600 in 3 years. And she can do that for any kid, she says. So a lot of the kids don't play chess. I'd say half and half come in playing and not playing chess.
Do you have plans for another film anytime? If so, what's it going to be about?
Well, we're working on that. Like I said, we have a little 5-week-old at home. So she's taken up a lot of my time lately. A lot of my sleep time, too, which I think is when ideas can percolate. So we have some ideas we're floating around, but nothing concrete right at the moment. We're developing some other things, not just feature-length films, but maybe some TV shows and some other forms of media. We're working on it.
Are you going back to the South by Southwest next week?
Well, actually, it's right now. And Robert, our executive producer, just attended a screening of the film 2 days ago, or yesterday. 2 days ago. Yesterday. We were invited back, not to be part of the film festival this year, because we were already there, but South by Southwest has an education conference now, and so they invited the film to screen as part of the education conference. So we actually were there this year. I wish I could be there this year, but maybe next year.
Would you be interested in doing a documentary about our team?
Oh, well, who would it be about? Who are the characters? Obviously, James. Yes? I don't know if I can make another chess documentary, but what I would suggest... No, you guys have it seems like you have a great production program here, TV and film. People who want to learn how to make films should tap into them and have them follow you guys around. I think that would be a good way to start. And you can use it for fundraising. You can always raise more money telling a story or showing, a story than writing a story or writing a pitch or a proposal. If you can show people real personalities, then I think that works a lot better sometimes than an email or a letter. Robert?
I'm going to throw one at you. So tell them about the story. The media is still continuing. Tell them about Nick Kristof.
Oh, so yeah, Nick Kristof, who's one of the lead op-ed writers for the New York Times, he got a hold of a DVD of the film, and he watched it, and he really liked it. So he wrote his last column. He was taking a sabbatical a couple weeks ago, and his last column before he took a sabbatical was about the IS 318 chess program. And what wound up happening from that article was that a whole slew of donations came to 318, over $50,000, I think, all from this one op-ed piece. John Galvin doesn't like me to tell people that he got $50,000 because he wants people to know that that's still not enough. Because that's only enough for this year. And what happens next year and the year after that? People hear that and they're like, oh, yeah, $50,000. But, it's like, how does a program like this stay funded for 5-10 years? But, the fact that our film was able to at least do that, now at least we know that the program will be around for at least another year. Hopefully more than that. And that all came from the Nick Kristof piece that ran a couple weeks ago.
When I hear after school program, I think of here's a basketball and go outside. What are some other programs that are similarly rigorous?
Yeah, well, at 318, they have 40 after school programs that they offer. And exactly like what you said, they don't see it as just like daycare or just a way to kind of drop kids off, after school. Their programs are programs like botany and robotics and judo and modern dance. Kind of if it's their thinking is if there's something a kid could be interested in as a 12 or 13-year-old, we want to give them the chance to explore that, and then find the thing that they get excited about. So, there's band. They have like a world-class marching band at IS 318. It's like I went there and I was like, gosh, I wish I had that when I was in school. I went to this tiny little Catholic school. We had like two things to choose from after school. You know what I mean? It's like you were either an athlete or like a drama person, and that was it. There was like nothing in between. And so 318 really kind of sets the bar, I think, for me in offering lots and lots of things for kids to choose from.
If you'll stay up up here for a moment, Katie. Presenting our honoree of the award for Chess Educator of the Year will be Dr. Abby Kratz. She's Associate Provost, and she's in charge of all of our intellectual competitions such as chess and debate. Abby?
Thank you. Katie, I just want to thank you for bringing this wonderful film to us and sharing your perspective on how it happened and why it's good with us. And I just wanted to kind of enforce the idea of you as a chess educator. Okay, we give a lot of awards here to people because they're great teachers. I think great documentary filmmakers are great teachers. And I think you have succeeded with this film in making an inspirational piece that is definitely out there educating people about the importance of the rest of the mind, as you say. It's not about taking tests. It's not really about just appearing in class. It's really about learning to exercise the muscles in the mind in ways that maybe we don't touch in the kinds of education that we're leaning toward now. So thank you for inspiring people in the schools to start thinking about those things again. I'm just honored to share this award with you, and you can take that home with you.
That's awesome.